Day 6 of training camp is in the books for the Chicago Bears, and this is a day where it felt like the offense and defense both had their moments. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. So it seems like the Bears offense started off today very, very well, and the defense finished strong. Now, reportedly, this was the most physical day of training camp thus far. This one coming from Matt Zan, who says this: Bears going live and with tackling today, pretty physical out here, but probably don't love Andrew Billings tackling and falling on top of DeAndre Swift. Caleb did have a nice completion to Coastin Loveland on a 3rd and long and looked good enough for a first down. Also coming from the Windy City Production saying practice is really physical today. You can hear the pads thumping. And so it seems like the physical, which is important, right? You're going to need that physicality. You need to deal with that because while, yes, you are practicing against your own team, you don't want to get hurt. Nobody's going to go half speed for you when you're up against other teams. And with the joint practice coming up around the corner as well, pretty sooner rather than later, you're going to need to get into that. Now, this also seems like this was one of Caleb Williams' best days today. Greg Braggs talked about that Caleb Williams was in the zone today. And you can definitely feel that Caleb Williams is adapting to what Ben Johnson is asking of him to do. We talked about today on the daily episode that dropped earlier today how Ben Johnson had a structured way that he wanted to go about getting Caleb Williams comfortable with certain throws. And it seems like, hey, Caleb Williams is really starting to adapt to that he's starting to hit that place that you want to see him be in. And that's a good thing. Caleb Williams, like Ben Johnson, I'm telling you, and of course, we got to wait to see how it's going to play off in live games on the football field. That's it, right? But it seems like as it stands right now, based off what we know, Ben Johnson had a vision in mind of how he wanted to execute that part of it and get Caleb Williams used into the system. And he came in with a plan, which is something the Bears just haven't had a lot over the course of the last few years here. So hearing that when it comes down to it, that Caleb is starting to take to that, he's had probably, day 5 was one of his best days overall in training camp. And it seemed that he built off that only in one day after another to get to that a little bit more. That's really good. Now, it wasn't just the offense, though. It seems like the defense finished really strong today in the 2-minute drill, right? The first, second, and third team offense had no answer for the defense. Montez Sweat even yelled, "Get your ass off the field," when they stopped the offense in 4 downs. That's really good. But, it's good to hear that there's balance there, right? You're hearing the offense have a good day. Overall, offense having a good day. Again, this one comes from Greg Braggs that it was Caleb Williams' best day. And you can say this. He said this: you can see he's working on the play action game and getting his head turned around to get his eyes where they need to be. Wasn't perfect, but you can see clear improvement. Ben Johnson just implemented his most physical day. Best part, no injuries, tough tackling, loud pads being popped, good competitiveness. So you're hearing that. When it came down to the offensive line as well, Ozzy Trapiloo and Kiran Amagaje split the first team reps again. Greg Braggs saying from his eyes, he thought that Ozzy had a better day, but and Ozzy and Deo Odeyingbo went to battle, which is really good, what you like to hear. And that Ozzy won most, but Deo did have a nice moment where he beat a double team for a sack, which is what we're hoping we see a lot of to help take that pressure off Montez Sweat next year. As far as Luther Burden, Luther Burden appeared to give 2 different line of scrimmage penalties. Ben Johnson had a short fuse for the first one, continue to show the discipline that he wants to instill. And we know that's a big part of Ben Johnson and his offense. He wants to be disciplined from top to bottom. But Coastin Loveland continues to be impressive, saying this: Coastin Loveland is impressive with the combination of speed and size, show wide receiver tendencies at the line of scrimmage. That goes back to what I've been saying. Coastin Loveland is one of the best route runners on this team. Now, I've been saying the best route runner, I think along with Luther Burden, but now that we've seen the growth of J.P. Richardson, which you didn't hear a lot about today, but it seems like Coaston Loveland is bringing that route running, which is going to be a really big, important part to this thing as well. So, again, this is all positive that we're hearing. This is what you're supposed to hear from training camp. And, one thing, 79th and Hollis podcast saying that it's an overall good day for Caleb in the offense, and it's very evident that it's starting to click. That's what you need. That's what you want, is things to start. That's what training camp is for, is to start getting the things clicking and firing on all cylinders. And the offense we always knew was going to be a work in progress. How many different looks and options and things that are going to be there under Ben Johnson. And so that's good to hear. The defense, though, after an episode where I just got done talking about how the Bears need to earn the moniker of Monsters of the Midway, nothing's going to be given. That's a label that you have to earn in Chicago by not just being a good defense, but the identity that defense has. The Bears report saying this: I think we will see a difference in opinions today about practice. It's still good. It started good for the first team offense, but overall, not a great day in my opinion. Defense took it. Offense struggled in team drills and 2-minute. Caleb should have had a long touchdown to DJ Moore, which, that's something that we've seen from him before, in fairness, right? But the defense prevented that. So it's just something to look at. Again, another side of things, and the defense is going to have its moments and stuff like that. Again, no panicking over training camp and things like that. So overall, though, we're hearing good stuff right now, man. The pre-alignment kind of penalties and snaps, that's something that's going to happen, especially hearing that Luther Burden had that shouldn't really be too surprising considering he missed so much time. And that's one of those things, that expectation and timing, and that's going to get down. So hearing that Ben Johnson wasn't happy with that from Luther Burden, and the fact that he pulled him out of practice, it is what it is. He had trouble lining up. He had trouble with some pre-snap things, but was nothing that we didn't see from other places when it comes down to it, and that's a good thing. Another thing from Zach Pearson said that Ben Johnson wasn't lying when he said they are exploring options to get DJ Moore the ball more in space. I tell you what, right? And talking about, of course, the route running, which is a thing, and that's how you can create space. But even though DJ Moore isn't necessarily the best route runner, you can scheme that, right? You can scheme ways to get him the ball in space. And it seems like Ben Johnson has recognized that early. And I tell you what, you get the ball to DJ Moore in space frequently. Oh, DJ Moore with that size and speed that he has and that strength, it's going to be major there. So hearing that DJ Moore, Coaston Loveland is continuing to impress, right? All those things are really good when it comes down to it. Another thing from Zach Pearson says this: Dennis Allen's defense having a very strong camp. Ben Johnson wasn't wrong when he said that they are playing tighter coverage, not giving Caleb in the offense anything easy. Iron sharpens iron. That's good for Caleb Williams. That's good for the offense to see that type of coverage early on, and that's going to help get over that hump when other defenses are throwing it to you. So, but like I said, overall, and he said that Zach Pearson, 79th and Hollis, both talked about Caleb and Rome and their connection, how strong it was, and how they had a really nice catch on 11-on-11 drills, which is really good to see. And somebody we haven't heard a lot about so far, undrafted rookie Tasheem Johnson, had 2 big hits on 11-on-11, had one near the sideline and then over the middle as well that fired up the defense. There's going to be a lot of guys trying to make this team and this defense, and we'll see. We shall see. But overall, nice day of practice, it seems like, from it overall. Doug Kramer, despite the injury concerns, he did practice today. He got hurt in the past couple of practices, so he's there. Still no Zay Frazier, no Bill Murray. We know Shamar Turner's out as well. But overall, seems like the Bears had themselves a nice practice where the defense and the offense both had their times to shine. Let me know what you guys think on it all and more down below. We have a more full episode on everything going on in day 6 of training camp tomorrow for the daily. Love you guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bear Central. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. That's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.